this is a thing that I felt was always possible because of the way that people responded to Mr. Öcalan's statement back in February of last year, because of how Turkey and other states were responding to what had happened last March. I felt as though the one thing they did not want was PKK to lay down their arms and move in the way they were moving, making a statement based on the need for ordinary people to rise up and seize democracy, basically to be in solidarity with the people of Rojava and with the Kurdish wider struggle. That it was so important that people understood what that message was about, and there was some great statements made by Mr. Öcalan and by the Kurdish people about what they were intending. And I saw that as one of the most important things when, and I used this in a statement I made, that only ordinary people can bring an end to the horrors that have been going on. Ordinary people are the homeland, the first and last losers in wars and battles and what's going on just now. And that this is the lesson of Rojava. I kind of think of it, I remember Professor Chomsky saying a few years ago, one of the dangers is the good example. And Rojava is the good example. And the way that the Kurdish liberation struggle has conducted itself is the good example. They will not be intimidated by military power. This is the thing that must be avoided. At the same time, they have to be given the right to resist. People have to be able to resist against what's happening to them. The situation in Aleppo and Kobane has been so difficult, such a horrible situation, that it's so crucial that the people across the world respond to this and to realize what's happening, and to realize, I think, the complicity of the major powers and the major powers in the Middle East. This is quite clear, and some of the things that have been exposed recently about the timing and when Turkey and the Israelis and the US were discussing things with the interim government in Damascus. And meanwhile, the military action was had started really. I am just an outsider looking at this. I'm a writer from Scotland. I just try and understand what's going on. I read and try and find sources of information and try and make sense of it in terms of what I know and what intuitively I know. That's the best I can do here, and try and draw attention to these things so that people will look for themselves to see what's going on and see, and they must stand in solidarity with the Kurdish people. They from the beginning of this last period, it's Dem Party. People are spreading outwards to show that this situation is not simply about the Kurds. This situation is about the free people and the democratic people, the people who respond to these things in places like Turkey. They have to see the reality of what's going on. The people in the States, in America, they must see this reality. The people in the UK, don't allow your state to control and say what's going on. You must rise up in your own country and say no to this. This is how I see it. And you must take the example of the people of Rojava and wider Kurdish people. This is the only way forward, and that's really what I believe.